In this video, I'm going to be talking about the different ways that tectonic plates can move. So there's two main theories, two main lines of reasoning explaining how tectonic plates move. First one, I'm going to start off with convection currents. So a convection current is basically formed when a fluid, and fluid in physics generally means liquid or gas, so not just a liquid. So when a fluid's warmer parts rise and cooler parts sink. Okay, just picture like a saucepan on a stove. Here's a stove. So they've got water inside it. So as the water boils, the hotter parts, the warmer parts rise and the cooler parts sink. You can also do this experiment in the lab using potassium permanganate crystals. So purple crystals. When they're in water, they turn the water purple. And using a Bunsen, you can see convection in action if you do it properly. So that's what a convection current is basically when the hotter part of a fluid rises, the cooler part sinks. In everyday life, if you think of like a hotel, let's say, or a double-story house, you generally find that it's cooler on the bottom level than it is on the higher levels. Okay, so if you go on holiday, let's say you're on level 30 and you have someone you know on the bottom ground level, you'll feel that it's much hotter on level 30, let's say. So in the context of tectonic plates, let me draw two tectonic plates here. Okay, let's suppose that these two tectonic plates are ocean crusts. And here you've got what's called a mid-ocean ridge. Right, massive seafloor mountain system. Now beneath the lithosphere, so the crust and asthenosphere, you've got the mantle. And you've got rising hot magma coming up from the mantle. And if you recall, magma is just a semi-solid, so it's half solid, half liquid. And the cooler parts sink. Now, how does this actually make tectonic plates move? Okay, so they're moving in this direction, they're moving apart. Well, an analogy that I come up with for my students is to think of someone, let's say, bouncing on a trampoline, and there's someone beneath you that's pushing up. So suppose someone pushes up on you. Not only do you jump up and down, but you also move a bit to the side, right, left or right. And that's the idea with tectonic plate movement in terms of convection currents. So the rising hot magma pushes the plates up, but it also pushes them, displaces them to the left in this case. So they're moving apart. And that's how convection currents work in terms of moving tectonic plates. Another theory, so that's theory number one. Theory number two is gravity. And there's two parts to this. Now we know what gravity is. Gravity is a force which pulls everything down towards the center of the earth. It's an attractive force. And there's two parts to this. I'm going to first talk about what's called ridge push. Okay, back to our picture here. Let's suppose we've got two oceanic plates here. Okay, that are moving apart because you've got rising hot magma and this occurs when the region of a rift, okay, so a crack along the ridge, okay, so let's say that's the ridge, okay, a rift is lifted up and the mass of the ridge, mass of this thing, pushes sideways, right? And that's why you've got what's called ridge push, okay? It pushes sideways, it pushes on the oceanic crusts on the left and right hand side. And the other theory is what's called slab pull. Okay, so I've got So I've got one of the plates here, and I've got continental crust here. Okay, I suppose I've got an island here. Here's some trees, a house, right? Now, oceanic crust is generally denser, it's heavier than continental crust because it's made of heavier materials. And so as a result of ridge push, an oceanic crust, when it encounters a continental crust, it'll sink beneath it. Right, because the rising hot magma that's coming up will cool and solidify, and it'll pull down, so due to gravity, pull down onto the oceanic crust. So now you've got more crust, and that'll sort of sink, subduct, okay, which means sink. It'll sink beneath the continental crust. Hence, you get what's called slab pull. We've got the slab of continent here, and it's being pulled down due to gravity. So these are the two main theories of tectonic plate movement.